Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Rita, and I hope you are having a blessed week. I hope you are having a productive week. We are going to be talking about some people today who have not had a great year. So we knew this was going to happen. We talked about this last year, how the state has the state prison system is working alongside the state government in places like California and New Jersey and other places, Oregon, to house men who feel inside, whatever that means, like they're women, to be housed with actual biological women. They are being transported or transferred to all women's prisons under this, like I said, under I feel like a woman inside, and they're being housed and locked in cells with real women. So the natural result of that is that women are being impregnated consensually, of course, because, always when women end up pregnant in prison, it's always consensual, I'm sure. So women have turned up pregnant. Last year, we talked about some women in California who turned up pregnant because biological men who feel like women, although they opt to keep all their twigs and berries, they are being housed with biological women, and they don't even have to undergo any surgery. So now we have women who are supposedly consensual, these reports claim, are turning up pregnant. So Union Township, New Jersey, 2 inmates who are serving sentences within New Jersey's only all-women prison are reportedly pregnant after they had sex with transgender inmates. New Jersey Department of Corrections told NJ.com that 2 inmates at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility became pregnant after having consensual sexual relationships with another incarcerated person. This whole consensual thing, of course, they have to say that, right? Because what they don't want to say is that women are being raped in prison by men who feel like they're women, because the state has decided that it's going to side with the people who feel like they're women, and put them in cells with actual women because, hey, why not? We're all living in the metaverse, apparently, where all bets are off and, there are no consequences for any actions. You just kind of do what this is like, this is like a fantasy world. Like, people are not living in reality. People are living in an altered state of reality. Anyway, I digress. This prison in New Jersey houses over 400 women, according to the dailymail.com, and 27 inmates at the prison are transgender. The prison reportedly does not require transgender inmates to have undergone gender reassignment surgery to be housed there. That's awesome. So every predator can decide that they are a woman. They feel like a woman. I'm still waiting for one of these men who say they feel like women to actually tell us what feeling like a woman is. Now, we know that we have people in government and now people who are being appointed to the Supreme Court who can't tell us what a woman is. Even women can't tell us what a woman is. Here, let me help you out. It is adult, female, human. Easy, easy, easy. Very simple, very simple. You don't have to ask any questions. XX chromosomes. There you go. There you go. And people want to try to make this distinction like, but gender is different from sex. No, it's not. No, it's not. That is made up. They just started doing that only in recent decades. Before that, there was no it was sex. Whatever you have, whatever your bits and pieces are, determines if you are male or female. I still hold to that. Hey, I still hold to that because I still live in the real world. But I understand that some people are not. Unfortunately, these poor women have to bear the brunt of society's shift into delusion. So I feel really terrible for these women, obviously. And so, this is a thing that is happening. So a Huffington Post contributor back in 2011 wrote this article, and it's called "Some Transgender People Are Not Gay." Now, this is the huge elephant in the room that nobody is talking about. Okay, this article was written by a person named Joanne Herman. Joanne Herman was born a male, the person who wrote this article. Many people don't think this through when a friend or loved one undergoes a transsexual transition. In my case, I was living as a male since birth and was attracted to females, making me considered to be straight. After I concluded my true gender was female, some were truly speechless once it clicked for them that my continued attraction to women meant I was now considered a lesbian. So I got a quick story. In former times in my life, many moons ago, I worked as bartenders, whatever. I worked in clubs, bars, the whole nine. So when you work in these seedy environments, which our whole country is one big after hours club. But when you are in these environments, you see the real dregs of society. You see people, the real perverts of society. Remember that song, The Freaks Come Out at Night? Yeah, you get a real taste of that when you work in nightclubs and you're in that lifestyle, you're in that industry. What you will find is there are plenty, and this is a regular occurrence, where men dressed in drag with beards but nails, the way like people like Leah Thomas and others look, like they're not even trying to pretend. A lot of these men would come into my workplace and attempt to flirt with all of the ladies who were there. Men dressed in full drag. A lot of them it's some kind of, it's a fetish. So it's a fetish, and it's more than that, right? It's some kind of mental illness where the idea of sex and what they believe to be true about women is perverted. It is what they believe to be true about how women feel on the inside, and how women think and how women are, and all of these things. Even the caricature that they turn themselves into, it really is it really is an outward expression of how of their unusual and unnatural way of thinking of women in a sexual way, right? So now take these men who frequent these nightclubs and all these other seedy places, take these men and where they used to stay in that arena, right? These are people who used to just, turn into these freaks at night. And in the daytime, they go back to their jobs, whatever, they take off the makeup. Well, now the society, the state, this government, the prison system, everybody has encouraged the freaks of society to come out on full display for the world to see. All of their perversions, everything along with it, they have celebrated that. And like I said, these men are attracted to women most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. Caitlyn Jenner, or Bruce Jenner as we remember him, some of us remember him from the Wheaties box, the tennis player, yes, with the children, the natural children, he is still attracted to women. Either the state doesn't care, well, they don't care, obviously, but either one of two things is happening. Either they don't know that most of these men who claim they feel like they're a woman inside, who wear makeup, whatever, a lot of these men are attracted to women. Either they don't know that they're still attracted to to the opposite sex, or they are willing to allow these women to die or to be sacrificed on the altar of the gender cult. I think the latter is true. I think they know good and well. They've talked to any psychologist. I don't expect for our politicians to know very much, but these psychologists know very well that many of these people who feel like a different sex, again, whatever that means, are still attracted to the opposite sex. This is not different for these predatory men who are in prison, who are now being housed with women. And these articles keep saying it's consensual. Our state and our government should be ashamed. The prison system should be ashamed, but they're not ashamed. They're not ashamed of it at all. As a matter of fact, they know full well that it's a possibility that these women will turn up pregnant.
Women's Liberation Front, or WOLF, a feminist organization which is in direct contact with inmates and staff, tells NTD that at least one woman in Central California Women's Facility is pregnant as a result of the male inmates. Because pregnancy is private health data, the reports cannot be verified with the prison.
Some of the men have been rounded up and put in segregation on the yard where the woman who is supposedly pregnant. So they've taken 3 of them and put them in administrative segregation.
Lauren Adams is Wolf's legal counsel. She says several weeks ago, the prison began giving out condoms and providing information about inmates' options if they get pregnant. At the time, Wolf called the new resources a tacit admission by officials that women should expect to be raped when housed in prison with men, where all sex is considered non-consensual by default within the system. Many of the ones now housed in female prisons still look like men, and some, she said, are reportedly not taking their hormones, and one has grown a beard. And worse yet, Adams says some of the men that have been transferred into women's prisons are sex offenders. A July phone call to Wolf, one female inmate said prison guards told inmates they won't segregate the men from the women's cells because they're worried about getting sued.
And how do you think that we feel? We do not feel safe knowing you're scared of a lawsuit. We do not feel safe that you're going to put them in our room because you're afraid.
Prisons have told these women that they're going to provide abortifacient drugs and prophylactics, so they know full well that this could happen. They just don't care because, again, these women are being sacrificed on the altar of the gender neutral God that our society has so willingly embraced. So let me know what you guys think about this. Have you heard of these stories? I know there's, like I said, California, New Jersey, I think Oregon. Probably you can just write the whole West Coast off and the way it's looking, the whole Northeast with everything that's going on. But this is terrible. It's a terrible story. I pray that these children at least get adopted or that these women are getting out soon. The trauma, I can't imagine. Let's be praying for these women that, my goodness, there has to be a way that they can hopefully they can get attorneys and sue. I pray that they do. That is not going to, even if they win, of course, that won't take away the scars of being, having consensual relations in prison with a man who was forcibly locked in a cell with them. But let's pray for them that their minds would not be further traumatized by this incident. Until next time, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. Ciao.